Powered by Arkansas, for Arkansas. This is Inside Arkansas Live.
And welcome into Inside Arkansas Live here on this beautiful day here in the great state of Arkansas. I'm your host, John Neighbors, alongside Curtis Wilkerson and Andrew Ellis, and appreciate each and every one of you for making us a part of your afternoon this afternoon, as it is a Wednesday, hump day, 3 days away from Razorback Football, and we're going to have all the conversations to be had about Razorback Football as we get geared up for the weekend. We're, of course, going to have who our heavy hitters are, presented by HD Roofing and Construction. Check out the chats, according to Basis Health. Again, does some other nonsense and other things going around in the SEC world, the football world, and the sports world in general. But, fellas, happy Wednesday, happy hump day. How are the vibes today?
The vibes are strong. I've already spent an hour and a half in front of a camera and microphone with Andrew Ellis this morning. Teaser for something that's going to come out a little bit later. So how could the vibes be anything but great? And then he had me laughing almost to tears right as we were getting ready to start the show here. So my vibes are good, and I've got to credit Andrew for that. You've done a good job this morning, sir.
Yeah, I'm absolutely buzzing today. I don't know if it was the podcast with Curtis or if it was that I got to go see John today. Usually I don't see John in person before the show. Definitely got to see John, who's got a nice haircut that he's being very shy about, didn't brag about. Credit to him. And I mean, this is the final day without college football for the week. Tomorrow night, there's got some action. Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday. We got a lot to look forward to. I'm excited.
Yeah, well, that's it. Yeah, I don't want to show off my haircut. I just want people to talk about it. So thank you, Andrew. You did it well. You pointed it out to me. So keep thinking I'm going to be a hat guy sometime, but maybe I don't know.
Andrew, do you remember when we were at Freedom Boat Club here recently, and we left there? It was hot. We were breaking everything down, and we were walking out of a gas station as John was pulling in. He got out of his truck looking crazy.
The hair looks a lot better now than it did in that moment. You're right.
Yeah.
Pretty good stuff, man.
if you ever want to judge the type of day that I have had, just know that if my hair is the crazier, just it's been that type of day for whatever reason. But yeah, that was brutal. So yeah, but we don't have to worry about that now anymore. I mean, the weather's good, guys. We don't have to worry about the heat and the sweat and all of that because again, it's football season and it feels like football weather right now. And it's crazy that we have, Missouri and Central Arkansas, right? Isn't that tomorrow night?
It is.
Yeah.
It is.
So
you see Missouri's playing one quarterback the whole first half and the other the entire second half. That's the plan.
Yeah.
I hope that plan gets blown up.
I really do too. And I'm not going to give him credit, but I have to admit, Bobby Petrino did that too in 2009 when it was Mallett and Wilson, which he did, but it was against Missouri State. So it's not unprecedented, but it is Missouri and it's Drinkwitz. And I really hope, I hope it blows up in their face. I hope both of them have the exact same stats. So it's like, crap. Yeah. Like, what do we do here? Like, what are we going to do? So, but that's what's great, man, is that college football is here. Again, Razorback football happening on Saturday. We're going to have some pregame show action. How about that? Some pregame show action starting at 9 a.m. on Saturday. Just for about an hour to get you guys all ready and geared up for the preview against the Alabama A&M. I don't even know what their name is, but it's Alabama A&M. So you're going to be checking them out, getting the previews for all of that, and of course looking around the SEC and all that fun stuff. Maybe getting some SARACEN picks, some betting for all of that too. Did I say something wrong, Andrew? Your face looks like
I'm just thinking about it. Are they the Aggies? Are they the?
I mean, if you're A&M, you got to be an Aggie at some point.
What are they, Curtis? I know you probably know, right?
Alabama A&M?
Yeah, what are they?
Dude, I have no idea.
They're the Bulldogs. They're the Bulldogs.
Okay.
They're the Bulldogs.
It's very disrespectful.
No, I know. Like, I hadn't even thought of it. We have not said it at all. Back in the days when we were writing, this would never happen. But
correct.
I did not know the last name.
Yeah, none of us did. So we can't even make fun of each other. Like, none of us did as a collective group. But that's okay. Listen, we haven't really turned the page for our prep against Alabama A&M. Like we're still figuring out fall camp and getting together the depth chart and figuring out all that stuff.
Hey, they don't say the team name on the All 22 film that we've been watching. Okay, right. They don't say that. I don't worry about the mascot when I'm watching the tackles and seeing how they work on the edge.
Yeah. Well, hey, listen, I'm going to blame producer intern Cameron. That's what you got to be there for, man. You got to help us out here. All right. We get in the chat and let us know what the mascot name is. Come on, Cameron.
He did, actually.
Yeah, he did.
There's how much you pay attention to you, Cameron. Well, you should have had it earlier. But no, it's listen, it's going to be fun though on Saturday. It really is. The weather looks like it's going to be gorgeous. We talked about the crowds and and everything. And last night I got to hear from a few of the players for the Razorbacks, and it's kind of like, listen, I get that there's interest and wanting to hear if anything significant happens, but it's amazing where like Pittman's press conference on Monday, which I know was chaotic, but with Monday and then last night, there's, I would say, like, what, 85-90% of it is just stuff that's like, I mean, kind of either we already know or it's not anything groundbreaking. Honestly, guys, I felt like Monday press conference with Pittman, the craziest thing was about the captains and how they're going back to the old school way of how the captain should be chose. I thought that was significantly awesome and cool. And I guess maybe at the Catfish Hole tonight, I think it's tonight as they're doing the show, they'll have the announcement of the fifth captain, right? Because they have 4 now and they need a fifth one. I think that's what
they have 5. They need a 6th. They got 2 on offense, 2 on defense, Devin Bell, and then they're voting 1 more.
Gotcha. Okay. Gotcha. All right. Well, I'm sure we'll find out, see who's rolling out there.
Every week we have a vote to cover of, hey, there's a new vote for a new captain. He said there was going to be more on top of that. So we'll just, it's going to be a fun weekly bit.
Dude. Can I ask a question real quick about media availabilities? Did Pittman not usually have a nooner or like an 11 o'clock on Wednesdays? I used to be Thursday.
It was like Wednesdays at like 2. He would do the teleconference at 10:40, which he did this morning. And then he would have like a 2 p.m. press conference. And that was usually like the final injury report is pretty much all it was. But it was a little bit like there would be times where we're like, all right, nothing's really changed. We don't really need to do a press conference. I think last year was the first year they stopped doing that.
Yeah. And so now you literally hear from Sam Pittman on Monday, and that's where you get the best pertinent information. Because like the teleconference is every now and again, you'll get a little injury update or something, but there's not too much to that. And then it's the Catfish Hole, which is, hey, it's cool. It serves its purpose, but it's like propaganda. You know what I mean? It's kind of weird that Monday is the only time you really get to talk to the head coach specifically about the team and stuff going on.
I don't know. I think it's because they're breaking news at the Catfish Hole. Maybe that's why they're not doing the press conference. They're like, let's just do it at the Catfish Hole. Let's just break the Keyshawn Blackstock news tonight. Who knows what we're going to get? Maybe we'll get that captain. I don't know.
Dude, we're going to have to start paying our $25 fee to go in there and eat some hush puppies and listen to them.
Way more than $25.
Yeah, man, I would say, man, with inflation and the economy's in shambles, I mean, we're going to have to really – the catfish, I mean, the stock market's crashing. It's going to be – the money's going to be expensive. But no, it's who knows what will be said tonight. That's what's funny. Do we even know what the players that they're bringing? Did they announce those at all tonight?
Let me check the Catfish Hole's Twitter account.
I assume it's probably like Taylen Green and Cam Ball. I don't know. Like, I feel like the first year when everyone's happy in first game week, which I know they did it last week, but I don't know. You started with the punter and the deep snapper, so maybe you need to switch it up a little bit. And
announcement: C.J. Brown, Miguel Mitchell.
That's actually a very solid
duo right there. Yeah. Coach on the field and the team leader in receptions, according to me. Spoiler.
That's right.
Yeah. Okay. That's solid. I mean, I'd like to hear a little bit more about that, but I did want to play this clip at least from last night because again, there were some things that were said and some interesting things, but the main thing was I just thought this was great from Taylen Green. It was him and Cam Ball, and he was asked about what the offense is going to show this season compared to last year. Like, what are they going to showcase? And here's what Taylen had to say.
Just all the firepower and all the playmakers that we have, not just the skill positions, but, the O-line, the tight ends, the receivers, the running backs, everybody, and just how much work we put in. And like Coach Pino says, on Saturday, it's game time, it's prime time. So just like he says, just letting it fly and, having the mentality to, take the ball and score every single time we touch it. So that's the mentality that, we have. And like I said, just be more responsible when I have the ball in my hands. So that's, it's a lot, but, a lot comes with the position.
So explosiveness, speed, playmakers, those are the things you like to hear from your offense, especially from your quarterback. And I know, again, we'll do our preview and we'll talk more about it as we get closer. But, man, it would just be so nice to see multiple explosive plays from different players. Last year, again, the offense was fine. And I don't have any issue. But like we talked about, it was Andrew Armstrong was the wide receiver. Like, that was it. He was the guy. And that's fine because it worked out. But I would love to see the love spread. I would love to see Arkansas score, 8 touchdowns and 6 of them are scored by different players. I would love to see all these guys that we've heard about through fall camp of Jaylen Brown or CJ Brown or I guess not Jaylen Brown, but those guys that can be able to take that next step. And if it's Mike Washington and what we've heard from him, just these guys that we have been hearing about how great they are. I want to at least see that on Saturday, because if you can't do it against Alabama A&M, who are you going to do it against? That's what I want to see.
Yeah, I was about to say, John, I've got good news for you. You will see explosiveness. You will see big plays. You will see it from a variety of Razorbacks on Saturday. I damn near guarantee you that. I think we're going to have a fun showing for this Razorback team, and that's awesome. It's I keep going back to what Andrew said yesterday, and we talked about it a little bit on the thing that we recorded this morning, and I do think it's super valid. If you're going to play the FCS game or whatever, do it week 1, because the excitement about the game itself, it has nothing to do with the opponent. It's your first look at the Razorbacks and seeing what they're all about. And they should be able to go out there and have fun and be full throttle out there. So I am expecting a beatdown. I'm expecting a lot of highlights, and I'm looking forward to see, who those guys are who get the first stab at really impressing us, so we can massively overreact to it and then look up 3 weeks later and go, oh, it's actually somebody completely different who's going to be the playmaker for this team.
I like that that I hear about Alabama A&M and how they like to blitz and they like to do all this cover zero. Like I like the premise of this Arkansas offensive line getting a chance to kind of silence a threat, which again, they should do, but it's just cool to do that. And for the skill guys, a lot of them outside of Omega Blake and, a little bit Raylan Sharp, the only thing that we don't have is on paper production. And so going into the season, that's kind of the mental battle that these guys are having to have, is like, I have to prove that I can do it. I have to go out there and show. I have to show that on paper I can really produce. So what's the best way to do that? You play one game, you put up huge numbers in that one game. Now you can do the opposite, where you're like, listen, I know I haven't proved in the SEC, but this year I played one game. I had 90 yards and a touchdown in that one game. I'm on track. It's not that hard for some of these guys like CJ Brown, who have all the physical attributes. It's like just going out there and doing it and seeing that you can do it and you can be that guy. I mean, think about it. He had 5 catches for 62 yards. He could very well do that, maybe double that on Saturday, literally. You know what I mean? He could have 90, 100 yards if he just has one big play. Think about what that would do for his confidence, for a guy that, is as a sophomore, he's gotten a little bit bigger. He's been doing well in fall camp, which has to be building that confidence. You just go out there and have one good performance, then all of a sudden that Arkansas State game, maybe you have another good one. It can snowball pretty quickly, and with talented players, you get them believing. That's all that really matters. And so that's what this week is about, is just going out there and dominating, which is what you're supposed to do. And then you just, see if you can carry that into week 2.
Well, I'll tell you what, as part of our Alumni Hall question of the day, presented by our friends at Alumni Hall, 3417 North College Avenue, we're going to be there this Friday from 12 to 2. You need to come by and see us, because I know a lot of you are going to be coming into town for the Razorback game. But when you come by and see us, give us a little fist bump. We'll have some giveaways to get out. And as well as getting Hogs by 20, that little promo code, that gets you 20% off your purchase. And it's all the finest apparel. We're talking about Columbia. We're talking about Southern Tide. We're talking about Peter Millar, Johnny O, all of it. They have the jerseys. They have the hats. They have it for men, for women, for kids, the decor, tailgating. I mean, everything, anything and everything that you want to Razorback on, they have it. So come hang out with us this Friday, 12 to 2 at Alumni Hall. Use that promo code Hogs by 20 for 20% off your purchase. It's Alumni Hall, the ultimate Razorback shopping experience. So guys, I asked a question, since we're talking about playmaking ability. How many yards will Arkansas's biggest offensive play from scrimmage be on Saturday? 1 to 25, 26 to 50, 51 to 75, 76 to 99. Because if I'm not mistaken, isn't from scrimmage meaning offense, right? So you can't have 108. All right, just want to make sure I worded that right. Because somebody was just like, I take a kickoff for 108. That's not what I said. But either way, 54.5% say, though, 51 to 75 yards is where it's going to be.
I think that's kind of where I'm at.
Okay.
I don't know how many opportunities they're going to have to make a play that would be longer than 75 yards. I don't know if Alabama A&M is going to be able to drive it enough to punt it and have Arkansas backed up in its own territory to where you can make a huge play like that.
Do y'all remember back December, Arkansas's famed Liberty Bowl win over the Texas Tech Red Raiders? I know what we learned in that game. We learned a valuable lesson, and that is that Taylen Green against a really bad defense can make a lot of explosive plays, and he can do it with literally anyone. Desmond James had like a 97-yard play. I don't think we're getting a full-on Desmond James. I think any of these receivers, C.J. Brown, Jalen Brown, who has 97 speed on the college football game, can't wait to see that in action tomorrow night. Monte Harrison, who has these type of plays in scrimmages, I think there's going to be at least one pass play that goes, like it's maybe just a slant that goes 77 yards. Something like that is happening in this game. So I'm like right in between 50 to 75, or I don't know. I could see 78.
Yeah, I would say it's right because of the reasons you mentioned, Curtis, of about that stretch of 51 to 75. But I could also see something. Actually, here's the thing: as I'm going to go 75 to 99 because I think Arkansas is going to get a goal line like pick or fumble or turnover on downs, like within the 20. Because I think Alabama A&M may flirt with a little bit of that, which I hope they don't. I mean, that'd be great, but just given the circumstances, trends, and the amount of opportunities they're going to have could happen. But here's another thing, guys. I'm going to take it one step further. Arkansas's biggest play is going to come from the second team when they come in. So it's either going to be KJ Jackson to throwing it to Maddox Lassiter, which how cool would that be? But something like that where you get it's a late game, big time play going across the field.
Courtney Crutchfield, 83-yard go route from KJ Jackson. The future is now.
That would be arguably the best thing that could happen.
That would be, John, that would be shades of Mitch Mustang hitting Damian Williams in that 54-10 USC game.
Yes. I thought I was actually going to bring up, that would be shades of Casey Dick hitting Crosby Tuck, in 2007 or whatever, where Crosby Tuck had 8 catches for 7 touchdowns or whatever to start the year. And I was like, dude, this guy's great. And then I never saw from him again. But yeah, that man, if that happened post game, guys, just let him cook, let him get out there. And then 2 games later, you don't see anything from him. Petrino hates him. There's problems. He said something. He was critical of Petrino and his play calling. It's just going to be all the speculation and nonsense that's going to come along with it.
Notoriously on the depth chart, Courtney Crutchfield. Like this is not out of the realm of possibility. The only thing that would be better than that is if Antonio Jordan was healthy and he got the 83-yard touchdown.
Yeah, he comes in. He does the Greg Jennings. Y'all remember the Greg Jennings?
Yep.
Where he's on the video game and he's limping and everything, and he goes 99 yards. That's what Antonio Jordan's going to do. But no, they're calling Courtney Crutchfield Courtney or Crutchfield.
Mm-hmm. Yes, man.
Or a second team or guy. So pretty much a second teamer.
Yeah. I just have a feeling we're going to get a touchdown from someone that we're just like, oh, yeah, that guy. That works. That's cool. I just want a lot of touchdowns. I want touchdowns. I want big plays. I want fun, fireworks going off. Everybody being like, yeah. I want the stadium to be empty at the end of the game because everyone left because it's such a blowout. For Arkansas, not for the other way around. That's what I want to see.
We actually mentioned this guy on the stat show today. Sorry, Curtis. Jaden Ferguson, I think, is my prediction to be that guy. We mentioned him on the podcast, and we're like, maybe he catches a couple passes.
I love that. I think they're going to score from 50 yards out, both through the air and on the ground. I think they'll have a big play of each that they score on.
You know what the problem with this is? Like a very high percentage of Arkansas snaps are going to take place past the 25.
Mm-hmm.
Like the first play from scrimmage might be from the 25, but like literally they should have very good field position a lot.
Yeah. Well, also too, because you got Devin Bale. If Arkansas, actually, that's another thing. I don't want to see Devin Bale. I don't want to see him hit. I don't want to see anything.
Last year, I don't think.
Yeah. In fact, yeah, you might as well just not even bring him. That's what I want to have. And Scott Starzik, you know what? If it's blowout city, I want to see Scott Starzik on 3rd down line up for a 50-yard field goal. If you're blowing them out, get some reps in, young man. Get in front of a crowd. Get some of that going.
Honestly, you need that. Yeah, I do hope that he gets a couple attempts just because I would rather him get out of the way now in Fayetteville because the next time you're going to be there is Notre Dame. So,
No biggie. Yeah. Well, also, too, I think we've talked about this, but a freshman kicker, man, it's a kicker in itself is very like, oh, gosh. But a freshman kicker in Arkansas, I know it doesn't mean the whole lot, but Arkansas has been pretty blessed over the past decade of having some really good kickers, comparatively speaking. Like, and it's not been perfect, but, Cam Little and our guy, his name escaped me for the Lions now.
Jake Bates.
Thank you. Jake Bates. Him, even the guy that was on the years where Arkansas sucked so bad with Chad Morris, Connor Limpert, like, dude was accurate. So it's just you've had some good kickers, and I think maybe me and you talked about it, Ellis, something like that. But I feel like if a freshman kicker goes out there and performs well, he's going to be great. But if there's any shakiness, I don't see kickers just from freshman to sophomore to junior year, they get that confidence. It seems like, like Zach Hawker, you knew as a freshman, yep, he's going to be good. Cam Little as a freshman, yep, you knew he was going to be good. I hope that's the same way with Starzyk this year, where, I don't want to put him in a situation where he has to make game-winning field goals all the time, but at the same time, actually I do, because that means Arkansas is playing really well and being in a position, and all it takes is hitting that first one, man. You hit that first one. If you hit a field goal on the road against Ole Miss, to go up 31-30 and for the win, what would be better for confidence than that?
I know we used to make jokes a lot about Scott Fountain and, him, I know his job status was literally debated on the internet for a long time. If Scott Starzyk even just eventually gets drafted, like maybe he doesn't even start his career well, but just gets drafted later on in his career, can we officially just like shut up about Scott Fountain? I'm not saying the guy's like a genius, and I've actually made fun of Scott Fountain plenty in my life, but I'm like, if Scott Starzyk turns out to really be like this awesome freshman kicker that is a 3-year starter and just reliable as hell, I feel like that would pretty much solidify Scott Fountain as like an actual plus as a special teams coach. He's got like 3 of the best kickers on the planet.
Yeah, and they're also, I think, hopefully, knock on wood. I meant to bring this up on the thing that we did earlier today, but hopefully they're done with getting the every 2 weeks punt blocked situation, because that was something that really pissed me off. And then it was like it's like the random, we don't have enough guys on the field. Illegal procedure. It's like, what are we doing here? But it seems like they've cleaned that up. And then, if you could take into account his, he's like the John Caliperry of getting kickers to the draft here. So,
punters have been pretty good too, but 2021, their special teams like breakdowns were really bad. And that was the best Arkansas team we've seen under Pittman. So it was weird. But like early in that year, they had a punt blocked against Georgia. They had a weird punt against Rice. Like they had a lot of, they muffed a punt against Texas. Like they had a lot of miscues.
Well, I'm just going to say it's the year that Nate Thompson redeemed himself as the GOAT. Now we're going to have it for Scott Fountain too. Both people got criticized. It came through big time this past season with baseball. It's going to happen for old Scott. Because the punter thing too is another thing that gets overlooked a lot. I know you want to win games and they kind of get thrown to the side, but geez, you never really give punters or kickers their credit unless they're bad. Like maybe it's more so punters, but punters, you understand, like if you have a good punter, a good consistent punter, that truly can make a massive difference that you don't even understand. Like the difference of being able to punt a ball 40 yards compared to 50 yards consistently is different. Or the ability to hit a punt and coffin corner punting? Like the ability to do that and pin them deep changes games. I just sometimes think, I know it's punter, it doesn't really set the world on fire, but man, it is different when you actually have a guy like Devin Bale that's really good and can really help you out in these games. You need all the advantages you can get, even if it is the punter. I mean, you need them all you can get. So, and don't forget our boy Ashton No. You got to have a good deep snapper. Yeah, it makes the difference, man.
Wasn't it this time a year ago he slid in the DMs and was like, "Hey, this is awesome. This is how you pronounce it."
Yeah, I kept calling him Ingo.
Yeah,
I mean it's spelled Ingo, so I was always like Ngo.
Yeah, yeah. Sorry, we're here in America where we pronounce our words correctly. With the letters, we don't mess anything up like that. So yeah, I forgot about that though. Yeah, he did. Appreciate him. Because actually, come to find out, hopefully I'm not outing anybody, but we have a few current players that are big fans of us, as I found out, and one of them being the kicker himself, Scott Starzyk. So you're welcome, Scott.
Wait, I don't think I knew that. Scott Starzyk's rocking with us.
He's rocking with us.
Okay.
He's a fan. So,
but we spoke highly of you today on something that we just recorded. So
yeah,
no pressure.
I was like, believe it or not, I did not know that when I predicted what I predicted for Scott Starzyk on the stat preview show. That's crazy.
Sorry, I'll let you know ASAP next time, so that way you can always be prepared for any of those shows that you're in.
There's nothing worse than when someone says, "Oh, I know so and so," or I am so and so, and I just have to immediately scan my brain. I'm like, have I said anything stupid about this person?
Yeah, I immediately I have to almost be like, put please, I'm just going to assume I said something bad or you took something that I said. Because Andrew, you've never had any parents or anything run up to you and say anything. No. Never happened before at all. Either way,
All the possibilities. I just can't believe it was the one that it was.
yes, of all of them, of that one. Yeah, exactly. All right. So again, we'll get to some of your chats here. We got some other things that we'll talk about as well. But of course, want to remind everybody that we're here at Inside Arkansas, brought to you by our friends over at Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas. Listen, Halloween is getting closer, just a little over 2 months. And with the weather being the way it is, you're getting into that fall mood. I know all of you crazy people out there, you're getting your pumpkin spice lattes and you're putting your pumpkins out there, and you're trying to force the fall because the fact that the weather is here. Well, if you're going to do that, you might as well go ahead and get your Halloween lights up right now. And luckily for you, Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas is going to help you out with that. If you're in the Northwest Arkansas or in the River Valley area, they are there to help you install and set up your house with the professional lights, where they provide all the materials. You get any color, any pattern that you want. So you get to choose what you want. And they are the ones that install the lights. You get free maintenance throughout the holiday season, and they do the takedowns in January. It helps you out. It makes it so easy for you, and it makes your house look amazing without the work. And also, if you do get the Halloween lights, just remember, you get 50% off your Christmas lights if you do both. So can't get a better deal than that. Text our guy Brett today, friend of the show, 479-459-1380. That's 479-459-1380. You can also check out their website at walterchristmaslighting.com, or like them on Facebook by scanning the QR code on your screen. It's Walter Christmas Lighting of Arkansas, your local holiday lighting experts. Okay, so again, we'll get to your chats in a little bit, folks. But one of the things that one of the chatters did bring up in the very beginning here, I guess it went missing when we went live. The one that you started, I think, Andrew, was about the 24/7 composite talent rankings.
Oh, yes. Hold on, let me pull it up.
I think it deleted it for us. Okay, there we go. Thank you.
Yeah. So Arkansas is the number 23 team in team talent, which sounds good. And it is. I think it's probably about fair. It is 13th in the SEC. I didn't know how anybody felt about that,
well,
but
let me.
I have my thoughts.
Well, let's show this right here then. This is just a little graphic, but this is the 2025 team talent composite rankings for the 2025 season. And Arkansas is right there at 23rd, which is good enough. If I did my counting right, which is always suspect, 13th in the SEC. Boy, does that just sound like always the recruiting rankings. Hey, we're 23rd. Well, you're 13th in the league. But I think it's pretty much on brand for that.
It's just like recruiting, with every cycle, you'll see Arkansas with a borderline top 25 class, and you're like, oh, well, you know what? That's pretty good. That's not too bad. And then, yeah, it's near the bottom of the SEC. This league is just ridiculous. And Andrew, I know you want to provide some context here. I will just say, and correct me if I'm wrong, that this is based on solely high school recruiting rankings with all these players. It's like, it's not like they're taking, like where they were ranked as transfers for better or worse or anything like that. Even if it's a redshirt senior, they're using talent based on how they were evaluated coming out of high school. And I think that's kind of telling in terms of where we wind up seeing the Razorbacks here.
Yeah. And I think it's fair to point out that, like, that's also what this is supposed to be. Like, 24/7 Sports is not claiming that this is a accurate rating of how good each of these teams are. It's more, it's 100% based on high school. And for that reason, I think there's probably a lot of Hog fans, and myself included a little bit, who were like, dang, that's actually higher than I thought they would be, just based on the way the transfer class was ranked by even 24/7 and On3. But if y'all remember, 24/7's transfer ranking for Arkansas was much higher than On3's because they heavily value the high school stuff. So a guy like Jaheim Singletary, who is a 5-star recruit coming out of high school, goes on the record as a very talented player. So does Xavier Sorey. He was a former 5-star. There are 24 former 4-stars on Arkansas's roster. And by my quick math of the depth chart, only 6 of those guys are on Arkansas's first team on the depth chart that was released on Monday. Those 6 guys would be Justice Boone, Stephen Dix, Jalen Brown, Quincy Rhodes, Jordan Young, and Marion Harris, which, those are contributors. But there's a lot of guys that are good recruits, like a Shaq McCroy, AJ Green would fit this criteria, Selman Bridges, a lot of these guys that really aren't going to play a ton for Arkansas, Jaheim Singletary, who are carrying up that ranking a little bit. But by that same logic, Fernando Carmona was like a low 3-star recruit. Yeah. Taylen Green was a mediocre. Mike Washington was a 2-star, I'm pretty sure. So, like, there's a lot of guys that are very much outperforming. It kind of works both ways. Honestly, with Arkansas being 13th, I feel like it's about right, because you could look at all those examples I listed off, and you could find another example like a Carmona, like a Taylen Green, like a whoever, Omega Blake, to to do it the other way, I don't think you're going to move the needle that much. And Arkansas also, from a power rating standpoint on the talent composite, was substantially lower than Missouri, who was number 22. Like there was a
big gap there.
margin between them than it was Arkansas number 32. And so it's like they're all kind of jumbled there.
Yeah, I was just going to say, it reminds me, we pulled up those Kelly Ford like SEC win projections. I guess it was one day last week. And one of the things we said was like, okay, it's kind of weird how you have all these probabilities of, you're going to get 2 SEC wins, 3 SEC wins or whatever. And the massive gap between Missouri down to Arkansas, and they were right beside each other in the on the totem pole there. And it's like the same thing with these rankings. It's like you got 22 with Missouri, and they're pretty close to a lot of those other teams above them. Then there's a pretty sizable drop off. Then there's Arkansas, and we were talking about it before the show. I'm also surprised that Arkansas is like one of these guys transferring away, or like a Jaden Platt not committing to maybe being below Mississippi State even in these particular ratings there. That surprised me. So the gap is significantly higher to go up as opposed to maybe falling down some.
Yeah. And also too, I thought this was interesting when you look at it comparatively speaking to the other years of this ranking coming out. This is what you got to look for. Okay. 24/7. I'm about to, your ads, I'm about to kill you. Okay. So the 2021, which actually, no, let's start at 2020. Arkansas was ranked 25th. Okay. 25th in the country in the composite ratings, but had a 719 score. So to give that a little bit of context, Nebraska, who's ahead of you, had 734. So a pretty big drop from that perspective as far as that went. And that was 2020. But then you go to 2021, the year that Arkansas actually did really well, had their best year under Pittman. You were ranked 28th. So you dropped in the rankings, but then you had just a slightly better score at 722 for your composite numbers. What about 2022, where you dipped down a little bit? But hey, you had that great transfer class with Drew Sanders and Landon Jackson and all those big-time players, Jaden Hazelwood. You know what that did for you? Squat, because you were still ranked 25th in composite ratings. 743 overall. You had 2 5-stars on your team, which if you want to have some comparisons to that, that was more than almost all the teams that you ended up facing that year, or not all, but some of them that you ended up facing. 2023. What about that year? I mean, listen, it was a tough year and everything. Like, did it really dip that low? Well, a little bit. You went to 32nd, but here's the deal: the score was 730, which was higher than the previous year. So, point is that all these years, when it comes to the rankings compared to everybody else, you've pretty much been in the same area. Sometimes the points themselves have been a little bit different, but it's been pretty consistent over the Sam Pittman era over the past 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, and this isn't a foolproof comparison here, because I know the transfer portal kind of changes the math a little bit. But when I look at it and I see a team talent composite in the top 25, then what you would like to see is a football team on the field that is top 25 caliber. And a lot of it goes back to, Andrew, what you were saying about, oh yeah, they've got 24 former 4-stars or whatever on the roster, and only 6 of them are projected starters. So to me, it goes back to guys meeting their expectations or reaching their potential, getting the right kind of development. And, we've talked about the number of guys who have just not contributed or are already gone or whatever in some of these recent high school classes. You want that hit rate to be higher. And so, you go out and you supplement in the transfer portal, and you talked about some of these guys who are lower value, like a Taylen Green or a Mike Washington, who are really going to help you this year. But I do think when I look at it from a freshman standpoint, recruiting wise coming in, that should be higher. And if that development was there to the point where these guys were contributing like they were expected to as 4-stars or whatever, by the time they're in their second or third years of college football, then you would have an Arkansas program that might be on better footing with a better foundation than maybe it is right now.
I think there's probably also a lot of fans that you can look at it 2 ways. You can look at the rankings of the talent, because like you're saying, if Arkansas is going to be a top 25-ish talent team, they need to be a top 25-ish actual team. And, rarely over the last 5 or 6 years have they really finished in that top 25 range. And some people probably look at some of those programs that are below Arkansas and are like, man, they're having so much more success. But I think people are also looking at it and saying, well, man, if Arkansas were playing these teams, maybe we'd be having more success. To which I would say 100%. Like, I feel like we learn that when we play bowl games or when Arkansas plays non-conference games or whatever. Like, we kind of get a sense that, hey, they are at least competitive with anybody nationally. They just don't get the opportunity to play a lot of those teams all the time. But, like, that's, again, I don't know if that makes fans feel better or if it sounds like, oh, you're accepting mediocrity. It's just a statement of fact that if Arkansas were playing worse teams regularly, they would fare better. But I don't know if it makes you feel that much better about your life in the SEC. And so I think it's just kind of one of those things that you just kind of have to accept the reality of the situation. And like you guys said, you can outperform what your talent is supposed to do. But I think anyone who tries to really push back against the idea that Arkansas is like, they're not at a talent discrepancy here with the teams they have to play. It's just kind of a fact of the matter.
Like I see, I was going to say real quick, I see Heartbroken Hog here. He says we go 10-2 every year in the Big 12. Maybe they would, maybe they wouldn't. But I know you guys probably both watched a decent amount of Iowa State, Kansas State, and those are two teams in the hunt for a Big 12 title. At least people think so moving into the season. They're preseason top 25, and we still need to see Arkansas out there. But I didn't look at either one of those teams and go, Arkansas didn't have a chance. I think they would. And so I'm not saying that they would go 10-2 or whatever every year in another league, but it's to your point, Andrew, about what you were saying about like, well, yeah, but you got to play the teams on your schedule who, are higher up there than you, whether it's fair or not. There is something to be said for, a team being better than their record shows. And I know that pisses a lot of people off with the whole mediocrity or not thing. And hey, you're in this league, so you got to figure it out. I'm on board with all of that, but I do agree that you could have Arkansas as an example of a team who's top 25 level good, on a given year, but doesn't have the record to show for it.
Also doesn't help your case when you lost Oklahoma State, a 3-9 winless Big 12 team last year. And so that's where I would push back against Heartbroken Hog's assertion that they would just beat all these teams they're supposed to beat. And herein lies really what Arkansas, I think it's okay to beat the teams you're supposed to beat, maybe steal one against the teams you're in the same level with, and, kind of run it back year after year. But I don't know, you have to be that team that doesn't lose to teams like Oklahoma State.
Well, my thought process is if people want to do the thing where it's like, oh, Arkansas should be winning 7-8 games every year and then be higher every 3 or 4 years. If you were in the Big 12, you could do that.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yeah. And then also too, not to, use for any given Sunday, it just shows you how the margin for error is so small. I mean, the thing, like I talked about this on my Locked On this morning. I'm like, last season, in that Oklahoma State and Missouri game, I think was the ones I made the examples of. It's like a decision or two in both those games, you're 8-4, and just you're 8-4. But I mean, on the other side, a decision in that Tennessee game that you ended up winning, you lose that one. So simple decisions, simple little things make the difference in those close games. And that's why if you're a team like Arkansas, where you may not have the most talent compared to everybody else, it comes down to your decisions, not turning the ball over, not making those big penalties. Like those are the little things that you can control, and that is going to help you win more games. But if you're like, you can't be not very talented, comparatively speaking, to your opponents, and not be very disciplined and expect to win games. However, if you aren't as talented as other teams, but you are more disciplined than they are, that's going to set you aside and be able to set you up for more wins. It's as simple as that. But I did see somebody in the chat I wanted to address real quick. Actually, Heartbroken Hog says, do they have rankings going back to 2010, 2011? They do not. It starts back in 2015. And fellas, would you like to know which year Arkansas had the highest ranking since 2015 in the composite talent ratings?
2019.
You waiting on me?
Yeah, I was just going to see what you were going to say.
That's what I was going to say. I immediately thought about Chad Morris in that recruiting class.
This year.
Oh,
really?
Okay, nice.
Yep.
This is the most talented Razorback team we've ever seen. Per John Neighbors.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. It's a tie. It's a tie. They were 23rd this year, and actually they were 23rd in 27. Or gotta look it back up. 2017. Sorry, 2017, which I was a little shocked by because I'm like, that team didn't seem all that great. But again,
John Jackson on that team.
Yeah, it was a weird year. Cole Kelly made the difference. Louisiana, what was it, the Steamboat or whatever they called him? Between him and Ty Story. Yeah, those are good times. Good times. We'll get to your chats, folks. Appreciate everybody listening in. Want to remind everybody that we're brought to you by our friends at Hickey and Hole Law. A lot of you needing that legal advice, that legal help. Well, look no further than Hickey and Hole Law, because they're going to help you out, especially in those divorce and custody cases. Those are the ones that are so important, and you cannot face them alone. But they're going to provide you with that persistent and diligent representation to guide you through that entire process, because they have handled thousands upon thousands of family law cases and have experienced nearly every scenario that has maybe come up. And when you choose them, they're going to make sure that they walk you through it every single step of the way. But whether it's divorce, custody cases, criminal, civil litigation, personal injury, estate planning, they got it all, and they're going to help you also. Give them a call today at 479-434-2414. That's 479-434-2414. You can also check out their website at hickeyandhole.com. You can scan the QR code right there on your screen too, and it'll take you to the website. But it's Hickey and Hole Law. Things are about to get better. Okay, so a few of the chats here that we appreciate everybody tuning in. We'll have our heavy hitters and some other things going on as well. Ryan just wanted to know that, hey, we have matching hats on today. Andrew Pig.
Love that.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
Are you a gray guy or the red guy? You like which hats do you like better between the gray and the red?
Well, I have the gray, and I don't have the red.
I thought I got you both hats. Did I not?
I think I just have the gray. I mean, I don't know where the red's at.
Man doesn't even have the swag for his own show.
That's pretty.
I like that I can wear this with anything. Like I'm wearing my straight out of Kansas B word I'm a Jayhawk shirt today, and I can wear it with this because it's gray. If this were red, I probably couldn't wear it.
Okay. Well, I got you a Ray. Well, when you saw me today, I should have done that. In fact, I needed to give you the other hat that I was meaning to give you that I told you about. So I'm holding out all the hats from Andrew, apparently, just holding them hostage over here. But yeah, it's a good hat. It's a good hat. Austin from work says, anyone else see Carmona's new pet pig is named Pittman? Is that true? And why does he have a pet pig?
Oh, he had a pet pig. I didn't know.
You didn't see the pig?
No.
Oh, dude.
The pig's pretty good.
It's cutie, man. Yeah.
Is it a hog or is it a pig?
It's a small pig. It's like a baby pig right now. He'll grow.
Okay. I just didn't know because, sometimes with the pig and the little pigs, they're cute, like, Charlotte's Web type stuff. What was this, Wilbur? But then it's like, if you got the hog like Tusk, there's quite a difference in the cuteness level.
It's like Nolan and Mike Anderson, it's the piglet right now is going to grow to a hog.
Yeah. And when it does, you better help that damn bear, because if you see the bear, that pig's going to come after it. So in fact, Austin also says, can we get an inside Arkansas pet pig and name it Caleb Holt as incentive?
We can. Yeah, I think we can do that. Caleb Holt's the kid visiting this weekend for basketball, the 5-star. And here's the thing. You have a little bit of ground that you need to make up with Alabama and Auburn. Like, he's an Alabama kid, so you got to do that. Arkansas can offer a pig named Caleb Holt. Can Alabama offer an elephant? I don't think so. Can Auburn offer him an actual tiger? I don't think so. So, they're going to wine and dine him. They're going to have him on the sidelines at the football game. They're going to have him at a practice. They'll probably take him to, Theo's or whatever, roll out the red carpet and have a pig with his namesake walk up to him. I think you should do it. Is
there such thing as an elephant that doesn't grow into an extremely large elephant, like a teacup elephant? Because if there were, Curtis, I think we actually might be in trouble there. We'd be problematic.
Yeah.
Because if I could get a small elephant, I'd be into it.
Somebody needs to look into that, because I'm guaranteed if there ever was, somebody's going to buy him a pet elephant and just have it. And, it's the thing. Yeah, live mascots are cool, but only the ones that you can actually have a live mascot for. Elephants, I just don't think that those would be welcomed into the Tuscaloosa area. Just saying. Let's see. Also, Trailer Park Sark says, bowl prediction, Omega Blake gets more Heisman votes than TG this year. Man, all these bowl predictions coming from
Omega Blake going to get Heisman votes.
What would it take for that to happen?
1,500 receiving yards, like leading the SEC in receptions and yards and touchdowns.
And Arkansas wins 9 games.
Yes.
I think you'd have to get the triple crown of the SEC. And even if it's not a crazy number, like I actually think, because like Armstrong, did he lead the league in yards last year?
Yep. Yards and receptions.
Yeah. So like if you just have Armstrong's stat line, but have 9 touchdowns, 10 touchdowns, and he has some big games in SEC play, I think he would get like 1 10th place vote.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with that, because it's just hard as a wide receiver to get acknowledgement anyways. So
you'd have to cook in like a big game. Like you'd have to have like 2 touchdowns and 150 yards against Texas, and everyone remembers it, type of thing. And then he would maybe get like that 1 9th or 10th place vote if Arkansas went 7-5, 8-4.
Yeah, I could see it. SCT. Wow, it's been a while. SCT. Jeez. Mike Washington, I'm so in. Well, good to have you back.
I started this. I just wanted to pick one of his because I just want to say the reason I was in such a good mood before the show is John, we talk a little bit before we get started, and then John's like, all right, you guys ready to get started? And we were like, yeah. So we were waiting for him to send us live. And then all of a sudden Andrew just goes, oh, SET's in this bish.
Well, also, the good thing is the intro plays, and when the intro plays, it mutes our mics. Right. So I knew that if John did go live, it wasn't going to catch me on the mic saying that.
Yeah, that was good. That's good.
Well,
so we're happy you're here.
Yes.
But then we just sat there for like 5 seconds, and I was like, oh, I didn't expect it to last this long.
Well, listen, that wasn't on me. That was on StreamYard. Because, again, I hit the go. I always hit the go when I say I'm going to hit the go. But, StreamYard, it never messes up, and it's always 100% intact.
The last several days, it's been making me so nervous.
Dude, between that and YouTube Studio and stuff, I'm like, are y'all trying to just make me irate? Because you're doing a great job of it. Let's see a few more here. Ryan also says Blackstock with a strip sack, fumble recovery, and a touchdown. That would be hilarious.
That would be amazing. Yeah, I hope it happens.
Handoff.
Yep. Just let him be like the fridge and just put him in at fullback and let him do that too. Let's see. Also, yeah. Okay. So let's talk about this because this is something that people have been bringing up. Did you guys see that Pittman confirmed Petrino will be calling the offense from the box this season? Does that help or is it irrelevant? I like the bird's eye view of the defense personally. My thought is that last year Petrino was on the sidelines, and again, going back to Bobby Petrino is very good at what he does. And if Bobby sees there's some advantage to him being in the box, he's going to be in the box. And if he sees an advantage for him being on the field, he's going to be on the field. But I really doubt that Pittman came to Bobby Petrino and said, "Hey, coach, I need you up in the booth." And Bobby's like, "No, I want to be on the field." And Pittman's like, "No, Bobby, you need to be in the booth." Bobby's like, "Oh, okay." Like, I don't think that happened. So I feel like there's got to be an advantage. I think the bird's eye view is there, but there's got to be a reason why Petrino would prefer that this year compared to what it was last year. And so I'm fine with it.
I think I am too. And I have the quote from Sam Pittman about it on the SEC teleconference that he had today, because he was asked like, okay, well, why is he doing this? What went into the decision? And I'll read it here real quick. He said, "That's how we've done our scrimmages. Bobby actually approached me and felt like he could see the field better, be a better offensive coordinator up there. Obviously, in your first year, you don't quite know your quarterbacks as well as you do after you've worked with them." So there you go. Straightforward. Bobby wanted to do it. And I think that makes sense. So you feel more comfortable with your QB situation this year where you don't need to be right there on top of him. And there you have it. I'm surprised at how many people are asking about this and making it a thing, like why is this happening? Is this good? Is it bad? Is it? And personally, it doesn't move my needle. But hey,
the reason is because, Trino and Travis Williams are just gotten in fights all the time. So it's the best way to keep them separated.
Literally everybody's talking about the dissension on this coaching staff. Like people who've never said a word about Arkansas football before. And it's just like, what are we doing? Anyway.
Yeah, on the press box thing. So I don't want my stance to sound like it is I don't care, but it's never been something that I've like lost sleep over. I understand the premise. I understand why, because I've heard several different coaches over the years have different philosophies. I remember last year when Bobby was asked about this and he said, "I'm going to be on the field because I like to look my quarterback in the eyes. I like to be able to have that communication, really be able to like assess things in the moment." And I remember thinking, okay, I understand the logistics of that. I think Kendall Browse was also an on the field guy. Makes sense. I get it. You want to be signaling cool. I also very clearly understand why an offensive coordinator or a play caller would want to be aerial, would want to see the above, want to see what the safeties are doing, have a better feel for the entire field. I see the case for both. It really just matters, what does that guy want? What's that guy's preference? What does he value? And it seems like Bobby, for whatever reason, whether that's his trust in Taylen or just wants a different look, unique perspective, that's what he feels is best. And I don't really think anybody, Pittman, us, or anybody is like in a position to be like, "Whoa, don't do that, buddy. You better watch out." You know what I mean? I think that's why Pittman was probably like, "Yeah, sure." And like, who am I to tell you, no, you have to be on the field? I think it's going to be fine. He'll be able to communicate. I'm cool with it.
Yeah. And again, it's only a problem when it's a problem. Like, I could understand if in mid-season it was like, all right, now I'm going to switch over to being on the field. okay, well then there must have been something that happened to lead to that. Like that's a decision. But if it's before the year starts, it's like, hey, I'm going to be up in the booth. It's like, oh, what's going on here? What's great? Is there something amiss? Like, just no. I mean, I trust them, and I trust the coaching staff, and I trust Bobby and what he thinks is best for the team. So, I mean, it's not. And also, too, I saw somebody say this. Just I think it's more hopefully for trolling, but someone was like, yeah, the fact that you're going to be so far away removed from the coaching staff, it's just not going to be good for rapport in the team. I'm like, they all have headsets. Like, it's not like they're having to send smoke signals down to let you know what they're talking about. Like, they're literally communicating the same way that they would be on the field in headsets. The only difference is that they're up there and not literally right next to you. But as far as communication goes, it's the exact same thing.
Yeah.
So.
Now you have the green dot for a player too. Like the communication is better than it's ever been with the technology and everything. So yeah.
I also think the Taylen aspect of this, because in terms of people that are going to have to communicate messages, because I get that, you got to be talking to the O-line, you got to be talking to the receivers. I think also Bobby, if he wants something communicated, can say it. Hey, Taylen, tell them this. Or, hey, Eric Mateos, tell them this. It's really not that hard. I mean, I think these guys know what they're doing.
Yeah. And also, did we is it Xavier Story wearing the green dot for defense? Is that who's doing it? Did we ever get that confirmed?
They talked about a few options.
Yeah, they talked about Worth and Mitchell also. Like just having somebody on the very back end of the defense who can see everything in front of him. That's a good question. Maybe Sam will talk about that at the Catfish Hole. I don't think he mentioned it Monday, and I didn't listen to the entire teleconference today. So
yeah, and I think Dix was another guy that was mentioned. And I think actually if it's going to be a linebacker, it's going to be Dix because I think he plays in the middle, and he's like, I heard that they gave an explanation for it. I just don't remember. It was Travis Williams that was asked about it. But I think the safeties, Jaden Johnson wore it a lot last year. I think they're able to switch it up depending on the situation. Yep,
absolutely. And I think that it doesn't matter a huge deal, but last year was it Hudson Clark that wore it or had it last year? I can't even remember who it was. It was the same kind of
deal where they mentioned like 4 or 5 different guys.
Yeah.
I don't know if it changed every week or if it, maybe a couple in the same game, but they threw out a few different guys last year. Jaden Johnson was one, Hudson Clark was one.
Whoever the captain was, that's who got the
and obviously all those guys have kind of missed time. Like Hudson Clark missed time, so I don't know if it moved around.
Yeah. All right, so we'll have more of your chats. We'll also have our heavy hitters, but I wanted to bring this up too because we're always excited about new partnerships, and we got a new partnership with the Goat Lab Brewery. For those of you who don't know about it, it's an awesome spot. A lot of you may know it for it's a spot up there in Lowell, but they're putting together that's having their grand opening on a place in Fayetteville at 1214 Garland Avenue. Been completely renovated inside. It's an awesome spot, and they have a lot of great food. They got the Goat Lab brews like the Razorback, Tusk Light for all you beer drinkers out there, but they also have signature burgers and great food. And they're having their grand opening tailgate this Saturday for the game, starting at 10 a.m. right over there. So they're going to have tents, they're going to have beers, they're going to have a great time. So if you're in the area, look for a place to tailgate, especially well before the game. Check out the Goat Lab Brewery Red, or Goat Lab Red, as they call it in the Fayetteville side of things too. You can see their menu by scanning that QR code, but we're really excited about that. We're going to have some live shows there throughout the rest of the year as well, and have some other pretty major announcements happening here soon. But just wanted to share that and be excited about this too.
I'm excited about all of our sponsors and advertisers as they come on. It's very cool. It's humbling when people trust you, to have the platform to be able to promote their business and everything like that. It's a really cool deal. This one excites me a lot. I too fancy an old cold beer from time to time. So being partnered up with a brewery here, knowing that we're going to be doing some stuff out there, that fires me up, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, I'm definitely excited about this. It's a very easy and perfect partnership. Like, it just makes a lot of sense on every level. The last time I was in this area, I was meeting Todd Packer from The Office and hearing him riff up on stage. They do a lot of cool stuff. Yeah, and I mean it's a cool area, and I mean they brought us Tusk beer. I mean, what more is there to say about this?
Yeah, and Tusk Light beer, which was made in possible by a certain person that again we're going to be talking more about here soon. But either way, it's exciting. So yeah, we're really happy about that, and I can't wait to tell you more about it and all their locations they got going on. And we appreciate their partnership this upcoming football season. So really looking forward to it. Shout out to Whitty for the super chat. He says, that's awesome. The owner's an awesome dude too. Yep. Bill Adams. He's a great dude. Very to the point, but very well liked, well respected, and I believe so. I should have asked this to him when I was talking with him yesterday. They were the NIL beer, right? Wasn't the Tusk the NIL beer for Arkansas Edge? I don't know if that's still a thing now, because I guess the Arkansas Edge is now still a thing. I don't know.
I drank me a Tusk beer when we were sitting in Hog Heaven one of those days for a baseball game. Andrew and I were up there.
That's right.
And,
they had him there.
Yeah, I had a Tusk beer that day. I'm intrigued by the Tusk Light.
Yeah.
In my old age, I've been trending towards the lighter variety. So.
It's really good. I'm just telling you, it's really good.
I like that.
I think I had like a 6-pack that like slowly got dwindled down over time, but I had it in my fridge for a long time because anytime someone new would come out, you're like, hey, you want a Tusk beer? Always had it to offer, but I think someone drank them. I don't know. Over time, I ran out.
They disappeared somehow. But well, I'll tell you this, folks, for a little teaser. Tomorrow's show, we're going to have a big announcement that we're having here at Inside Arkansas. A big addition to the team here, and we'll keep you updated on that. So tune in Inside Arkansas Live, because we'll have the full announcement there tomorrow. But hey, also shout out to our guy, I say Ron, Derek Garduno says, Go Lab Brewery is right around the corner from me. I'll be there. Excellent, man.
Nice.
Hopefully everything's going well for you too. So yeah, we'll keep everybody updated on what we'll be doing, when we'll be doing it, and how we'll be doing it for sure. So let's see a few more chats here too. Jeez, we have Hogs for Life saying, how about the freshman linemen? How are they? Do you think they will see game time, or the coaches and players talk about them a few times?
They'll see game time this weekend, I bet. Talking about Cash Courtney and Blake Cherry in particular, I would imagine those guys, if things go according to plan, at least we'll see a few series maybe in the fourth quarter and everything. That'll be cool. And then outside of that, probably not, unless there's an injury, because they'll say, oh, we've got 9 offensive linemen that we're super comfortable. We've got 9 starters. No, you don't. You have 5, and then you kind of have the next guy pegged that's going to be your rover, and that's going to be a Marion Harris for Arkansas. If there's injuries and they got to shake some things up or whatever, then yeah, I think after that top 6, which Marion Harris, Shaq McCrory, whatever winds up happening over there, those guys would probably be next up. I know you've got some older guys like Doomerville. I know they got Broussard, who they got from Ole Miss, who they're excited about the potential there. But yeah, they're pretty high on those youngsters, so the future is potentially pretty bright, I think, on the offensive line.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if they didn't. Both of those guys that you mentioned, Cherry and Cash Courtney, I'd be surprised if they didn't play Saturday in some capacity, maybe just a drive or two, but maybe even the entire second half. And I think it's really cool that you have freshmen that have made such an impression in fall camp that they are in that position. And also like Brooks Edmondson, not that he's played a ton in games, but like he's been at Arkansas for a while. He's been with that second team offense. For Cash Courtney to just, no doubt about it, he's the number 2 center on the depth chart. That's notable. Arkansas has some veterans, Doomerville, Broussard, who's been at Ole Miss. Like, they've got some veterans that Blake Cherry has kind of been, leapfrogging a little bit. Like, I think Doomerville is actually listed at third team on the side, and Blake Cherry's up there at guard. It's like, I think that's impressive. But I think it's also ideal that they don't have to start. And so, you get their feet wet, get them some game experience, but ideally you wouldn't have to lean on them for real snaps, especially in SEC play. And I don't think they're going to have to, because you have a Marion Harris, because you have Shaq McCrory, you have some guys that can kind of move around if you really need them to. But I'm really excited about the potential of that young group, and I think the staff is for sure.
Yeah. Also, Dakota says, John, glad you made the announcement on Twitter. Me joining Inside Arkansas as the official sideline reporter for football. Couldn't thank Hunter Yurchek enough for allowing us on the field. Well, I'm telling you right now, everyone knows this is false, because if you're working for Inside Arkansas, you ain't getting on the field. You ain't getting in the press box. You're going to be shot on sight. You're lucky you can even watch the game without having your eyes gouged out. But
I mean, honestly,
yeah, nice try. Nice try, though. We appreciate it.
Especially in football.
Yeah, especially in football. Yeah, it's like they got somebody on us, watching us if we're ever in the area, 24/7, 365. So. All right, so we'll have a few more chats, though, but let's go ahead and jump into who our heavy hitters are, presented by our friends over at HD Roofing and Construction, because we know storms can hit unexpectedly. It's going to happen a lot this year. It's Arkansas, right? You're going to have storms happen later this year and heading into the winter, heading into the spring, all those things, and you want to make sure that your roof is ready for it. And when you choose HD Roofing, they're going to help you out, because they're going to give you a free inspection to ease your mind a little bit, to make you feel that, hey, if you need one, here's what you need to do. If you need any sort of maintenance, here's what you need to do. Or if you're good to go, they're going to let you know that too. They're always going to be honest and upfront with you, and that's why they're the best in the business. So give them a call today to make sure your roof is good to go. 501-428-0429. That's 501-428-0429. You can also check out their website at hdarkansas.com. That's hdarkansas.com. It's HD Roofing and Construction. All right. So for our heavy hitters, also, I wanted to bring it up because Quinn, our guy Quinn, was saying something. He was saying that less than 2 months and I'll be in Fayetteville. Not that you're counting, right? Quinn, I don't know if we're ready. I'll just be honest. I don't know if we're ready. But
Quinn, you want me to pick you up from the airport, man, when you get here?
that would be fun.
I would drive to XNA to get Quinn.
Gladly.
Dude, with Quinn's money, he'd be flying in Drake. He's not.
We just need to make sure that he gets set up with a a nice decorated room at the Graduate. And you guys remember when, I guess it was the last time 2 years ago, when Auburn came to Fayetteville, and Janai Broom and Baker Mazar, like those guys were on Instagram Live in like a Razorback themed room or whatever at the Graduate, and they're like, "What the hell is this?"
Yep,
it was a funny deal. We need to get Quinn in that room.
Yeah, well, and also it's owed because of the room or the place that Airbnb that me and Curtis had to stay in our time in Auburn. It was just decked out with Auburn crap. So it was
a lot of War Eagle in that place.
Yeah. So, which isn't even your mascot. So, you should fix that. But either way, heavy hitters, though, we'll have a few of these. And again, if you guys got any heavy hitters in the chat, go ahead and throw them our way. But I wanted to start off with my heavy hitter today of the Cracker Barrel. They moved it back, went back to the old logo. Shout out to them. They gave in to the peer pressure that was going on with their logo. So moving it back, people are still upset by it and all that, but I don't care. I thought it was really good and good for them for doing that. So
that's hilarious. I mean, I absolutely love that. Feeling the pressure, making the change. To piggyback off of that real quick, I don't know how our algorithms are probably not the same, but have you guys seen the Steak and Shake account that's just been teeing off on that ever since it became a thing about them caving and all this stuff?
Something about Steak and Shake, but I didn't see the tweets.
Yeah, and I thought it was like a fake deal or whatever. Maybe it is, but it's got like 400 and some odd thousand followers on X, and like every Cracker Barrel thing that comes out, they've been quote tweeting and just going nuts about it. Hilarious. I absolutely love it. So I will give them an honorable mention, heavy hitter as well. And then I guess we'll have to do the 28 other quarterbacks who CBS Sports thinks are better than Taylen Green, according to their rankings. Yeah, Taylen Green, they did their top 50. Taylen Green was 29th.
Does CBS not rank the entire FBS? They used to do that. Y'all remember they would rank every single quarter? Because I remember last year we were like Taylen Green, number 70.
I'll tell you, Cade Klubnik's number 1. In the SEC, you got Nussmeier at 2, Arch Manning at 4. That seems a little high. I mean, maybe he's there, but he hasn't done anything yet. Lenora Sellers at 6, DJ Lagway at 8, John Mateer at 9. What else do we have? Nico Iamaleave's not there anymore, but he's at 11. Down here for quarterbacks. Diego Pavia at 13, Andrew.
No, that's insane, dude.
Yeah.
I love Diego. Like, I really love Diego Pavia. He's good for college football. He's a grinder. He's fun. He's not even a top half of the SEC quarterback.
I got 2 more for you. Ty Simpson at Alabama is 20th. Hasn't done anything yet. Avery Johnson, Kansas State.
Dude. Avery Johnson not better than Taylen Green at football. Just not better than him.
That is wild behavior. They've got Carson Beck, Haynes King, both ahead of him. Luke Altmaier at Illinois ahead of him. And the new quarterback at Texas Tech ahead of him. And then at 28th, 1 spot above Taylen Green, Dylan Raiola, Nebraska.
Oh, come on. And Dylan, see, here's the thing. It seems like CBS is big on QB wins. We always talk about, are wins a quarterback stat? Because if you do that, then like Brock Purdy's top 5. You know what I mean? Like they basically just rank the top teams, it sounds like. Which, there is a correlation between good quarterback play and good teams, but I don't know. Like Ty Simpson, just because he's going to be on an 11-1 team doesn't mean he's a better football player than Taylen Green.
100% agree with that. Taylen's 1 spot ahead of Marcel Reed at A&M, by the way. But I pulled that up expecting. I was like, okay, Taylen's going to be top 20 for sure. He's going to be my heavy hitter today. I kept scrolling and scrolling and scrolling. I'm like, wow, okay.
Hey, but Taylen was like 75 on these lists last year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, also too, I thought it was funny because they have Gunnar Stockton of Georgia at 37. So it's just like funny how it's probably a team that's going to be really good, but they're like, well,
Gunnar
Probably have a
Stockton's
national
like,
championship would be
put all the
terrible.
game managers that are on good teams in the top 25, and you got me at 37. What the hell?
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Andrew,
Is
it's
it
your
my
turn.
turn now?
Yeah, it's your turn.
My guys, what are y'all pro Russell Westbrook or are y'all anti Russell Westbrook? And trust me, you're one or the other.
I'm more
pro.
anti.
You're more anti, John?
Yeah.
Listen, I understand. People have their opinions, and I understand Russell Westbrook is a polarizing gentleman. The thing you got to say, if you're going to make fun of Russell Westbrook, you got to at least start by saying he is the worst ever NBA MVP, clear first ballot Hall of Famer, 10-time All NBA, league leader in assists, points, steals, all that, triple doubles, completely changed everything. He's the worst of all time at that. But I want to just play this cool video of Russell Westbrook, who is old and he's washed up past his prime, but he's hooping on a yacht. And so he's happy I'm alive today. I'm gonna get that music out of here because that was annoying. Yeah. But there's Russell Westbrook just on a yacht, just hooping a little bit.
How many shots would it take you guys for the ball to go in the water?
I'm kind of looking at the setup. It seems like there's at least a little bit of a barrier there, but not much. I would clang a 3 off the back and it would go left or right, and I'd be in trouble.
Yeah, go long on a corner 3, and then it just
I'd take me my first shot. I feel like just hit the rim or not even hit anything, and then hit like the bottom of the base there, and then just bounce out. Like, wouldn't take much.
That's awesome.
Room to operate there.
It's
Do
pretty.
we agree that those are goals?
Yes.
Be able to do that.
No, that is a literal goal, and it is on top of a literal goal because and then the whole thing together. Yeah, that's goals. Hashtag goals.
I mean, anything on a yacht, I would take.
I'm a big loyalty guy. And so for the longest after it all went down, like with Harden and then obviously KD dipping out and Russ sticking around for as long as he did, I really respected that a lot. And he is washed comparatively speaking to what he was before, but I did enjoy watching him this year with the Nuggets. Like it was fun. He helped. He contributed to that team.
Here's what I respect about Russell Westbrook. And I can even see the argument that he's not a winning player, that like his style, isn't great next to like all that's fine. And like, I don't even really push back. The thing that I remember is I went and watched Russ play during his MVP season on a random Tuesday night in December in New Orleans. And for 44 minutes, he played harder than anyone on the court, was just after every loose ball, diving, going crazy, coast to coast. That dude is just on 11. And like to do that night in, night out for 10 years, and then his body is now broken down. He like definitely put it all out there. And I just always respected that. But absolutely inefficient shot chucker, turnover machine. All that is true, but he's still the man though.
Also confirmed Freedom Boat Club member, Russell Westbrook. So
yeah. I mean, that's exactly.
If you would like to play basketball on a boat, sign up at Freedom Boat Club today.
That's right. That's exactly right. It would be right there for you. They'll help you out, even get you the goal on there too. Make that work. I also wanted to throw this because I know we talked about it, but now I see it. The Carmona with the pig.
There it is.
This is Pig Pittman. Man,
I love that. I mean, I absolutely love it. It's a good looking pig right there.
So what's he going to do with it when he gets older?
My cousin who lives in Nixa, they had a pet pig, baby pig, and it was like domesticated for the longest, and it got huge, like several hundred pounds. And but they kept it, and then it was out in the yard, and then it's cost them a ton of money to feed it and everything, and so they had to wind up selling it or whatever. But I don't know if like Carmona probably lives in an apartment or something. He'll probably only be at Arkansas for a few more months, but he's gonna have to figure it out because those suckers get huge.
Mm-hmm.
Throw that bad boy on the smoker is what I say.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, was he going to slaughter it himself? Like he's going to go out there with the saw and everything? I mean, maybe, but
invite the boys over.
Hopefully he didn't out himself, because whatever place he's at, if he's in an apartment complex or something, I could be wrong, but I don't think that pigs are necessarily allowed at some of the student housing here in Fayetteville. So hopefully he didn't out himself here.
Would you be able to
live in like a on-campus student housing?
Is it risky to put him in the little trailer with Tusk
Yes.
before a game for a photo op, or could they both roll around in the mud together? Or is that probably Probably a bad idea.
Tusk
Dude.
is dangerous.
I'm about to say, I wouldn't trust anything in there with Tusk. Like, no person. There's a reason why you never see anyone standing next to him, outside the cage.
Don't put him on
Maybe a
a
reason why. But that's things. Everyone talks about pigs and whatnot. Hey, listen, y'all don't understand. If you think that pigs are lame or pigs or whatever, you try dealing with if a pig's running at you, squealing bloody murder, and you just sit there and feel like, yeah, I'm comfortable and fine. Like, no, there's nothing more nightmarish than hearing squeals of a pig and it running at you because you don't know what's going to happen.
I shot myself in the finger with a pellet gun once because a pig came charging me, squealing at me. I was a kid. I was probably like 13 or 14 or whatever. We were out in the woods. We had built a fort. We had our pellet guns. We're hanging out. And then I just heard that shriek, and I looked over and I saw the pig running at me, and I freaked out, dropped the gun. It went off and it shot me in the finger.
Ugh.
Oh,
I guess that's probably the best. Not at all the worst case scenario that could happen.
Wasn't great at hunting, really, but
I mean, listen, it's I admire your bravery to try to take on the pig, but glad it didn't attack you or anything. So, right?
Did not attack me. No, just scared the hell out of me, and then just kind of ran on by. And
It probably felt sorry for you.
Yeah,
probably,
yeah. Like it's from Ryan. He says that's some McCrory-ish right there, Curtis.
It very, very much is. And yep, that's exactly where it went down.
Oh man, that's see, we learned something new today. Now we learned something new about that. Okay, we'll get to more of your chats, folks. Again, appreciate everybody tuning in. Just to remind everybody they're featured and presented by our friends over at Basis Health, because they are changing the way that healthcare is delivered by providing mobile medical visits to the comfort of your very own home. A doctor will come to your home for urgent care, primary care, IV hydration, and so much more. It's Basis Health. They are here for you when and where you need them the most. You can learn more at basishealth.org. All right, so we'll get to some of your chats here, folks, on the show. At least I'll work through it all because people are having some fun. Because Hickory Hog was saying he's fattening it up for Cam Ball.
Oh, yeah.
Barbecue King.
It's true. That's true.
I need to get word from Tom Murphy. I think Cam Ball was supposed to cook for Tom Murphy at one point.
I think he was too. I don't know
You've
if
got the pig. You've got the Kingsford Charcoal NIL deal.
Yeah,
not now. I mean, like when he gets to the point where you can't care for him anymore because he's so big, and you know what I mean? Like he can't be in the house anymore. It's, I can directly correlate to this situation because of family. You're either going to have to sell him to a farm, give him away, or,
Have we talked about how Cam Ball looks like Drewski or no?
Yeah, that's been mentioned.
I meant to bring that up when we had him and Taylen Green earlier, that clip, but
yeah. I feel like somebody mentioned it in the chat one time and we maybe brought it up, but yeah, it's there's a resemblance there.
It's been covered in full. That looks like Drewski.
Yeah. Also too, by the way, if there was an exotic, but there's an animal that's not a typical pet that you guys think you would be able to have as a pet and make work, like what type of animal do you think it would be?
Monkey.
A monkey?
I think monkeys are pretty smart. I think I could develop a good relationship where it'd be productive.
Okay.
You could train a monkey to do some pretty cool things, I think.
Like that monkey on the most recent season of Gemstones. That monkey
exactly. Dr. Watson or whatever.
Dr. Watson, yeah.
That'd be a good monkey to have, man. I got to be honest with you.
He seemed like a real one, yeah.
Well, there's some about the 90s and movies about monkeys that I think made like our generation fine with monkeys, like Ace Ventura, Dunstan Checks In, like the Joe, whatever that was, the big gorilla. Like, it was just something about Joe Young. Yeah, Mighty Joe Young. It's like something about the 90s where they're just like, hey, we want monkeys to be very endearing to children of different sorts. I don't know.
Monkey would be a good
call. Cheer for King Kong, even though probably shouldn't, right?
Yeah.
I would love to have a penguin, but this isn't the environment for it. And I'd have to catch a lot of fish, probably, I think, to take care of it. We had a rabbit when I was a kid for a little while, and my mom was a bird lady, so you name the bird and we had one in our house.
I hate birds.
Me too.
I hate birds.
There was a time where we had like 24 birds in our house. The dining room, like we just gave up on the dining room. My mom did. And we had these big ass bird cages. We had a parrot, which was electric. His name was Twinkie. But then we had like cockatiels, lovebirds, and parakeets. It was ridiculous. Hated it.
Yeah.
And I had to clean out change the newspaper twice a day or whatever, because they just eat seed and poop, and then they're loud. I didn't understand the point. But anyway.
No, that's my thing, is like, I like pets that you can actually, if you have to keep your pet in the cage nonstop, then it's not a pet to me. It's like, you sit there and stare at it. Like, I mean, fish is one thing, if you have a fish tank, but if it's just like something that you cannot have out, then is it a pet? I don't know. I just feel like it's more of a decoration,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. The parrot can speak English, but the rest of them are useless.
I think I've decided I want a fish tank, and I think I'm going to just get it on a whim one day, and Hillary's just going to come home, and there's going to be a fish tank with like 4 fish in here.
We had when we moved from, I was like 3 or 4 when we moved from St. Louis to McCrory, and we lived with my grandma for a little while until we got our place. And my mom had me we had a fish tank, and we just had like a bunch of goldfish or whatever in it. And my uncle Mike had caught catfish, and he put a live catfish in our fish tank, and it devoured all of them.
Yeah,
crazy.
That happens a lot, actually.
Wild behavior. And I still haven't forgiven him for that. But anyway,
there's something special about watching a food chain be developed in real time. I got to watch that as a child in the fish tank.
On Planet Earth or whatever that show was, always, it's always Animal Planet, just things getting eaten. Yeah, it was great. Shout out to Angel for the super chat. Appreciate it. Says, have you guys seen the team picture yet? Yes, we talked about it a lot yesterday.
Yeah.
And,
somebody pulled up towards the end of yesterday's show and was like, sorry, I'm late. Did you already talk about the team picture? Like, they wanted to see what we had to say. We did. We kind of gave a solid in-depth breakdown of the first few rows.
Yeah. Was it Larry Worth's smile and the hair of whoever that was?
Really pull his hair.
Yeah.
The coaches on the sides was pretty crazy too.
Yeah. Which, hey, random though, but Larry Worth, that list that we were talking about with the composite rankings and all that, Larry Worth was not even a rated player. So,
no.
Fun fact, didn't even have, although Arkansas also has a 2-star. I didn't know they did 2-star still, but they have a 2-star player.
I didn't think so either.
Yeah. So that's how they're special.
Yeah. Mike Washington and Larry Worth, the least talented players on this team per 24/7 Sports.
Isn't that crazy?
Wild. It's wild. Transplant Tech says a Curtis rant about domesticated birds was not on my bingo card.
Yeah.
True.
Talking about these animals, all these situations taking me back to the old stomping grounds here. Crazy times with animals now that I think about it.
If I had an inconvenience like that, I'm sure I would carry it with me and offer some complaints.
Oh yeah, nuts. I wouldn't want any part of that.
And you have so many of them. If they start, squawking or whatever, then one does, and then all of them do. And my mom would let the parrot out, and she would literally set an alarm to wake up for like the 2 a.m. Jerry Springer episode. And so the parrot would be like repeating stuff that was said on Jerry Springer, and she's feeding him Cheetos. And I got school in the morning. We had 6 a.m. basketball practice. I'm like, what the hell are we doing? It was a tough time in my childhood, but we're all right.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, speaking of animals, randomly, but did you guys see that Colorado's retiring Ralphie the 6th? Because,
really?
Immediately, because of, quote, an indifference to running. That's why they're retiring him. The Buffalo has an indifference to running.
Dang.
So he's just.
So they're just not going to bring him out anymore?
Yeah, I guess so. The new Ralphie 7 will begin its training, though, but this year it looks like it's going to be.
See, normally the mascot just dies. Like, we've had a few Tusks that have passed, obviously. Mike the Tiger, there's been a ton of those. I believe there's been some bears that have passed. You just get a new one. But when you have the animal performing acts that require it to be in good shape, sometimes there's some time where they're useless before they die, and you just have to sit there awkwardly. I wonder if when he dies, they'll get a new one that likes to run, that isn't indifferent to running.
Yeah. And also, I guess there's some test, I'm sure, of like, you come to the conclusion, we've investigated it, and he is just indifferent to running. And it's like, okay. Not that he's tired.
They should relieve him of his duties, honestly.
Yeah.
And I mean, listen, availability is the best ability. Like, you gotta show up on Saturdays and be ready to run if you're going to be Ralphie. Yeah.
Well, I just love this from like David. He says, I also have an indifference to running. Like, yes, like that's
he got a glimpse of Tusk on the TV, and he's like, y'all just cart that fat sack around and just let everybody look at him. Give me that assignment.
Yeah,
that's
I remember, because everybody would be like, how cool would it be if Tusk could run out with the team like in through the A? And I'm like, there's zero any sort of circumstance that would, even if they had him leashed up to the gills, there's no chance that Tusk would run out of the A completely in a straight line and not take out the tuba player, and like everybody would be fine. Like there's just no chance.
Y'all remember when Bevo and Uga almost got into it at the Sugar Bowl?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Classic.
Yep.
Yeah. Again, maybe besides the Tiger, I would take Tusk in most live mascot fights.
Me too. Bevo doesn't want to see Tusk.
No, Bevo just sits there. Like that's everything. He's like at least with Tusk, it's like, man, we got to keep this animal contained or else he'll be dangerous. There's a certain allure to that. But when you just have a big cow, it's just like he's so not at all a problem that we can put him on the sidelines. That doesn't do anything for me. I feel like, didn't he get out one time or like try to charge something? I don't know. Forget Texas. I'm pissed about Texas. So I could rant about it all day long. Either way. Okay, so we'll have more of your chats, some other headlines to get into before we close up shop. I want to remind everybody, speaking of Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas, we know that the summer is winding down. The weather is changing, but that does not mean that you won't still want to spend some time out on the water, do a little night cruise, especially with the fall weather and checking out the sunsets and looking at all the leaves changing, especially with their locations, whether it's Greer's Ferry Lake, Lake Hamilton, or even the river down there in Little Rock. Freedom Boat Club is going to give you access to the boats, but without the commitment of having a boat. You don't have to do the maintenance. You don't have to do all the cleanup. You don't have to do the thing with the slips and transporting it and everything. They take care of it for you. And they got boats not only here in Arkansas, but from Cape Cod to the California coast. They got them all over the place. So be sure to text the words Inside Arkansas to 501-270-6477. That's 501-270-6477. And you'll get 50% off your initiation fee with Freedom Boat Club of Arkansas. You can also check out their website at freedomboatclubar.com for more info with Freedom Boat Club. Okay, so a few of your chats here. I want to bring this one up first real quick because this does make me laugh. From Austin from work. He says, weird to know that the guys are scratching balls behind that overlay. It's like, hey, what goes on behind the overlays, you don't have to know anything about them, all right?
Where did that come from? What the heck?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
I know. It's like, you think that's the reason why we put up the overlay, so you can cover our faces so we can do things like that? Come on now. We're professionals.
Also, I would just clarify that nothing would stop us from doing that at any point during the show. That's not visible.
This is a nips up operation. So
yeah. So it's like, honestly, you guys have no idea what's going on below the belt at any given point. So
leave that to your imagination, honestly. Okay. So Hickory Hawk says, everybody's talking about Mike Washington 80-yard run for the first touchdown, but y'all don't think TG is ready to keep it on the read? Even if it's the wrong read, I could see him housing one.
This is a very factual statement, especially the last part.
Very possible that Taylen Green could have a very long touchdown run, because Taylen's one of those guys that once he reaches top speed has, legitimate like breakaway speed. It just takes him a while to get there. So it's like, I feel like he's kind of a all or nothing type of rusher.
Yeah, I do too. And not saying he's Matt Jones. I'm not, but like he's got the ability to take it to the house compared to a lot of other quarterbacks that maybe could. Like you said, that top end speed. If he's north and south and he's got nobody in front of him, it's going to be tough to try to catch him no matter who you are.
KJ occasionally would bust through the first level and have he had some 30, 40-yard runs. I'm sure he broke off a really long one at some point, but it's like, I didn't feel like he was a home run threat as a runner. He was obviously better between the tackles than Taylen is, but I feel like Taylen is the best home run threat they've had at quarterback since Matt Jones, for sure.
Yeah, I think so too. And because what was it? Did Quentin Jackson score the first touchdown last year, I think, against UAPB?
I
think it was him.
That's a good question. He scored
in the game.
Yeah, I was gonna say he had like a half dozen alone in the game, but yeah,
he did have the wave to the cheerleaders was later though.
Yeah. Yeah, that was after he already established himself. He wasn't going to do that the first time. He's got to make sure his presence known there. SCT says, can TG legit hit a deep ball this year? That missed first play last year still haunts me. We're going to find out.
That's what got SCT back, because we brought that up yesterday, the botched first play, and it woke him up. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, can he do it? I don't know, because we haven't seen games yet, but I'm sure he's going to have opportunities to try to hit a deep ball, especially in this first game.
They made plays down the field last year. Like I don't know if that was missing from last year's offense, was downfield plays.
Rumor has it they've had a lot of those against their own defense in fall camp. So
True. Just never mind. I'm not gonna say it's gonna come across mean. Seth says Crutch is on the 2 deep, boys. Pittman is eating his words.
That's pretty good. That's a good pull from from Pittman's reference last year in that presser.
Yeah,
that's pretty good. Maybe this was all Drinkwitz's long con, is like, one, to steal him and then bury him on the bench so that, like, just to like piss everyone off, then send him back to Arkansas so that he immediately gets on the 2 deep and you can point and laugh and be like, ha ha.
Yeah, because
I put him right on your 2 deep.
Because just for clarification from me, that was when he said that Crutch he's out 2 deep on another SEC school or something like that.
Somebody was asking about all the Arkansas guys on Missouri's roster and like basically how you feel about that or whatever. And Pittman pretty much said, yeah, but there aren't any on the 2 deep over there. Basically saying like any guys that are over there, we didn't want them anyway. And then,
Jeez, tough. That's tough. Evans just says, I just learned today that John L. Smith's nephew is Alex Smith.
I don't think I knew this information.
I don't think I knew that.
Is this real? Evan's not really a troll, so I think.
I don't think he's a troll.
There'd be no reason to say that if it wasn't real, actually. So cool.
And also just to come out of left field on it. Don't Google John L. Smith's nephew because you're going to get some old people from the Civil War time. Like it's just I don't have time for that. So I'll just trust you on that one, Evan. And say it's real. Caleb says, can we normalize players staying longer if they aren't for sure getting drafted or signing as an unofficial free agent or unrestricted free agent with NFL teams? Whenever they get waived or cut, just makes them look bad for not staying. I don't think you can normalize that, though.
Yeah, I mean, it's started to normalize with basketball. You know what I mean? Like we've seen that where it's like, okay, if you're not a first round lock, then a lot of these kids are coming back to college because they can make more money. I know it's different with football with more rounds get drafted, more players in general and all that. But I'm sure there's some, like they paid Xavier Sorey that, you know what I mean? For him to come back, he could have gone to the draft. Maybe he would have got selected. Maybe he wouldn't have, but there are examples there of where Arkansas or whoever might pay up to keep a guy. And at the end of the day, it's, these kids make their own decisions. So
here's my thing. How many examples are there of players that left Arkansas early and then didn't make a roster? Like this past year, besides, I mean, were there any early entrants? Like, I don't know that many people that like really had eligibility left.
Yeah. Cause wasn't there some rumor about Tesla still having eligibility?
Maybe, and he's one of the guys that obviously got drafted and made a roster.
Could Quentin Jackson have come back?
Yes, he was one. I believe.
I want to say that
we did determine he had a year of eligibility left, but he's also 22 years old.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah,
right. It's few and far between. Like we're having to really pick our brains to figure out an example.
Right. And I mean, so maybe you can make a case for Jaquinton Jackson, and so maybe that would be a guy Arkansas could have brought back. I think Hazelwood a few years ago was maybe a guy. Jaden Hazelwood was a guy that left and sat out the bowl game and then didn't get drafted and then didn't make a roster. That's an example. But like, I don't know if it's like that big of an issue that's plaguing the sport. I think a lot of those guys that, they have that decision of like, do I want to come back to school for $500K or maybe make a practice squad? I think there's a lot of guys that are coming back. Xavier Sorey being an example, Cam Ball being an example.
Oh, Curtis, do you see the email? Breaking news for basketball.
Oh. The Michigan State game.
Yeah. Sorry, we broke that news last week on the Pod the Palace, man.
You're a little late, a little day late and $1 short there.
But that's good. I mean, that means the contract is signed there, so that's good. But yeah, the Michigan State road game, November 8th. That's going to be the first Saturday of the season. So like Arkansas is they'll play a couple scrimmages and then they get to tune up with Southern, and then it gets real. It's just like when they went and played Baylor in the second game last season. And, John, we were sitting there in that building looking at both teams going, we sure either one of these teams are very good. It turns out they weren't early on. Now they both made the tournament and figured it out or whatever. But yeah, true road game at Michigan State in the second game of the season. That is ballsy.
Separate the men from the boys.
Yeah, early. Man. Very cool. I'm glad they're doing that. And that with that comes a return game for next year. So Arkansas next season will host Michigan State, which will be sick. That's awesome. These two programs have only played each other twice in history. with all the tradition of Michigan State and Arkansas basketball, they've only played each other twice. They've never played each other on the specific campuses, and they've never met in an NCAA tournament. That surprises me.
When was the last time they played them?
1995 in like
Yeah,
the Great Alaska Shootout or something.
Yes. Yeah, I do. Okay, so that's what I was going to bring up because I think I remember it being in 95 or in the mid 90s. But here's the thing. If this is a return trip, that's awesome. Tom Izzo, you better not retire after this year. I'm going to be pissed if you just like retire and then it's like, and because I do not like Tom Izzo. I don't like Tom Izzo. I don't like Michigan State. But if Arkansas is going to play him, I want it to be full staff. I want Izzo to be there. Kind of same thing. And John Shire should have been Coach K being there in Fayetteville a couple years ago. You know, like just I want the legends to be there. So, KSR guys are freaking out. They're like, Cal agreed to a home and home. Who is this man? That's what they're saying.
Yeah, it's pretty hilarious. Tom Izzo was on with John Rothstein the other day, and he brought it up because Rothstein was like, so you've got, you're doing some on-campus stuff, like you guys are going on the road for this, but then you have Arkansas coming to your place, and Tom Izzo was like, yeah, Cal must think we're going to be down this year or something because he doesn't go on the road. Like he doesn't do that, which is pretty funny. And they are a little bit. I mean, they're still a top 25 team or whatever, but they've lost. I think their three top scorers are gone. They've got some good returners back, but then their most high profile transfer is already out for the year with an injury. So maybe you catch them early, but they kind of remind me of like Houston in a way of like they're always going to be really, really good defensively. And they're also kind of like Arkansas where they don't take or make a bunch of threes, but they still find ways to score. It's going to be an interesting game.
I mean, Curtis, has there been a coach in college basketball that has scheduled more high-profile non-conference games than John Caliperry? Like, as much as I hear this notion from Kentucky fans or national guys or whatever of like, oh, Cal doesn't want to do that. Every single year, for as long as I can remember, I have been watching John Caliperry in November and in December play Duke, play Kansas, play Michigan State, play all these guys every single year. And then I always hear this stuff about like, oh, well, Cal, he doesn't want to leave. He'll only play you at his place and he'll only play at neutral sites and he only does this. And I'm just like, we can argue about semantics, but I'm like, every single year, every single team he's had, this specific, because last year maybe at Arkansas, they played Baylor. They had some games early. They had the Thanksgiving Day. This is on a completely different level. This non-schedule that they have, I don't know how anybody can look at that nationally and not say, holy cow, they scheduled a ton of high-profile games. Who was it? Was it Norlander the other day that was kind of like, why aren't they scheduling another non-conference game?
It was so weird. Yeah, he did that. I talked about it on the show a little bit, but it blew me away. He was like, yeah, I only see 5 notable non-conference games, and most teams schedule 6. And I'm just like, first of all, no, they don't. Please show me that. And like, you can't do the thing where it's like, LSU's playing Florida State or something, and that's their 6th, high major game. All 5 of these are bangers, tough ones. They play 9 games against last year's Elite 8. Like, this is a crazy, crazy difficult schedule. And I was really surprised at how taken aback he was by that. He's just like, oh yeah, just the more I think about this, Cal's got to have something in the works. Like, he's going to add a 6. Maybe look out for Gonzaga or something. There's got to be more to this. It's like, brother, this is twice as many tough games as they had on the schedule last year. What the hell are we talking about?
Right. Yeah. The year to year, this is a completely, and I thought last year's schedule was fair. Like I didn't have any complaints about like, hey, they're not testing themselves enough. I thought they were plenty tested. This year, it's like, dude, this is a gauntlet of a non-conference, and then the conference schedule, low key, might be easier.
Seriously.
Yeah. It doesn't matter because if Arkansas had 6, then they would be like, well, there's not 7. I can't believe there's not 7. If they had 7, they'd be like, what, 8? I mean, come on, you got to have 8 of these teams. Like it wouldn't stop. It doesn't matter how many you have. Crazy. Just keep going and going. So, all right, a few more of your chats. Look at that little official, I guess, news of the contract being signed. And
let's go, man.
Yeah, there you go. A few other things here too. Ryan says, if having a guy named Shanks on the special teams curses our kickers, I'm sorry, he has to go. Good. It's a good point.
At least he's not on the field at the same time as them.
Yeah, at least I hope not, or else something's going to be going truly wrong. Hickory Hawk says, as a fellow 30-year-old, much respect to Monte Harris. I assume Harrison. He says, I break a sweat carrying groceries in.
Yeah.
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
He's going Megatron mode this Saturday.
Yes, that'd be something. SET says, call my wife teacup elephant, and frankly, she was not happy.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I guess. Jeez, SET, good to have you back. Ron Derek Garduno says, Curtis, watch Pod at the Palace today. Seems to me that the powers that be just can't handle Cal and basketball hogs becoming that team, i.e. the one who to watch.
There is a resistance there. Everybody's on board with Arkansas being really good this year, but the closer we get to the season, like every time there's an update, somebody drops them a spot or two. Every time you're talking about the, who's the real threat to cut down the nets, and then it's like we've got our handful of teams, but Arkansas is not quite in that one. So it's not a full-on fade, but there's a resistance to embrace the hog. From the national media there. We need him to get it going. The only ones that I've seen really embrace it, oddly enough, Field of 68. Like they released their list of 10 teams that could win a national championship, and Arkansas was on it. Jeff Goodman's seen the light. Jeff Goodman has embraced the hog. So
yeah,
everybody else can just get on board.
Oh, no, he's playing the long game, dude. He's setting himself up to where if they don't win the championship, be like, see, that's the last time I ever believe in John Caliperry's team.
Oh, he definitely has there's a long game here for sure.
Yeah, always. Jacoda's like, Quinn, can we talk about how Auburn's depth chart has 30 plus possible players for 11 starters? That's my heavy hitter.
Dude, their entire defense is bold. It's like every single guy was listed as a starter. It was nuts.
It's like between that and Lane Kiffin's injury reports, man, he just never fails.
Yes.
Never fails. Which that comes out tomorrow, right? The injury reports.
Do they do it for only SEC games or?
Okay, just SEC. Okay. Just want to make sure. A couple other ones here too. Ryan says John is like a 50-year-old bachelor. That man has so much badass memorabilia. You really see what I have in here, but from this camera angle,
I would say this is toned down compared to normal.
That's just I have nothing else in life, and I'm not an interior decorator by any stretch. So it's like if y'all came to my place, you'd see just how pathetic it truly is. So
it just made me sad.
Yeah. Wow.
He's like, I have nothing else. And I got some memorabilia. That's it.
Yep. I got a couple of flags, a painting of my dog, and a sack of Skittles, and that's about it. That's my life.
Man.
Let's see. Also, hey, look at that. Our intern Presley was telling us about the Bulldogs being there.
Thank you.
Cameron did beat her by a minute. I do want to point that out. It's cool.
Okay.
Yeah. No want to happen again, Presley. But so I appreciate her tuning in.
This is why we have interns. They give us the very basic information that we should already have, and then they help us a ton in other ways. So
Iron, they were both on the hunt for finding out Alabama A&M's mascot.
And also Cameron let us know that the John L. Smith, Alex Smith thing is a real deal.
He did.
Big day for Cameron, low key.
That's right. He's catching on quick, man. Let's see. Also, Ryan says that a B-ball natty is going to hit like that pellet gun on Curtis's finger.
It was crazy. I'm not even sure exactly how it happened, and just for the record, I wasn't hunting pig out there. Like we're just out there shooting
pig
cans or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Pig was
startled me. I wasn't prepared, and like trip, drop the thing, and then pop. My finger hurt.
I just immediately think of like Curtis is like the guy in the Muldoon from Jurassic Park when he's hunting that raptor. Just like in there, and it's like he's just too clever and attacking him from the side.
Nobody makes me bleed my own blood except myself.
Yeah, apparently. And look, hey, listen, we even got some baseball. We got all the sports coming on. It's like Hickory Hawk says, we're not going to talk about Chuck Davalon coming for Otani's spot in the lineup.
Dude, 3 straight 4-hit games is crazy. He's making professional baseball look very easy, which is cool to see. But he just happens to be in a very loaded organization. But that'd be awesome, man. If we can get Chuck Davalon as the leadoff guy, Otani coming behind him to protect him.
Yeah, gosh, I just couldn't imagine going from being like the Razorback outfielder to in a year or two just be like, oh, okay, so you're replacing Otani in the lineup. It's like, oh, okay, sure, why not? Nobody will be paying attention to that, I'm sure.
I would like to quickly point out one thing here that one Dalton Wagner has made the practice squad for the Oakland Raiders.
Wow.
Like that. In Vegas.
Or whatever the Vegas Raiders, yeah.
Vegas, baby, Vegas.
Okay. Because what was it yesterday? Cuddy, Marquise Robinson, right?
Yeah, allegedly. Made a 53-man roster, and then also Eric Gregory.
I mean, listen, they watched his simulations on our streams last year for college football, and that dude was sack leader of the SEC.
I think that has a lot to do with it. I was looking at the Raiders here because I was wondering if Hudson Clark was going to be on their practice squad or not. I don't see him on here. He might have got picked up by somebody else, but yeah, Dalton Wagner.
So Arkansas got to replace 3 NFL players from last year's defense.
pretty much.
Yes, they do. Yeah, that's what I got
on
from
the
it.
D line, by the way.
Yes, that's what I got from it. Also, SCT says Andrew, where's Schaefer going to play, him or Pompey at a shortstop?
So it's very possible that Landon Schaefer starts, but I don't know if that is an assumption that we can make yet. I'm looking forward to next week getting out there and watching him play. But I think the current plan is Souza at shortstop. I would be pretty surprised if TJ Pompey played short. I think he's going to play third base. I think Schaefer is going to get reps at short while Souza is working back from injury. But I still think Souza's kind of the guy there. We'll see if Schaefer or Brumball or any of these freshmen prove they're like for sure lineup guys. I wonder what that means for maybe Reese Robinette, his spot in the lineup. DH is maybe going to be open because Cahilla's going to be playing right field. Kojal might play. Kojal's going to be in the lineup, but he might move over to first base. So maybe Schaefer fits in there. I think you just got to go out in the fall, find out who your best 9 hitters are, and then figure it out from there. But I think Schaefer and Brumball, those freshmen, I'm not penciling any of them in for the lineup until like they go out there and rake, which they're going to have to do to make the starting lineup.
And also, Dylan says, Curtis, do you think Coach Cal will do the tip-off tour again?
It's a good question. Like I know that he really liked the idea. I know that he really liked the I can't remember what it was called. The thing with the washing the feet and the shoes and
yes.
I don't remember what it's called, but for what they were doing, like the Good Samaritan's feet or whatever it was called.
Good Samaritans, yeah.
Like if he can find a worthy cause to do, he'll do that. I know that he's very big on getting out to some other places in the state. The turnouts weren't great. And I just don't think I think it was kind of rushed the way it was put together and everything. And it was kind of weird. Nobody knew what to expect. Then they didn't have enough players to scrimmage. So it was like a weird, almost like walkthrough practice thing. It wouldn't surprise me if they did something like that again, and maybe they would coincide it. I'm thinking out loud here, but it's like, if you're going to Memphis for that exhibition on the 28th, like maybe on the way there, you know what I'm saying? You make a couple stops and do something like that pretty light and have some fun. I don't know if they're going to do it or not, but I will say, I hope that they bring back a red-white game on campus this year. And I would actually prefer them do it at Barnhill again, because I want it to be in that small, intimate environment like that, because I really need Razorback fans to get that super up close and personal look at this team before the season starts. They are huge. This is a big basketball team. And I remember the years when they were doing it in Barnhill and you're just right on top of the action. You really get a feel for it better than you do at Bud. Do it in Barnhill and let's see how big the Razorbacks actually are.
Counterpoint though, the Barnhill internet sucks, but I do actually
matter for us.
Yeah.
And the media section, by the way, is that they actually have you on the floor. So it's pretty sick.
Yeah. Well, and also too, I just can't wait for when that to happen. And then people are going to come after you, Curtis, be like, hey, I don't know what you're talking about, man. Trevin Brazil's taller than this guy. It's like, cause I saw it, he's taller. You don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Like the heights are going to just always be a discrepancy. No matter what. So, all right. Well, guys, any final thoughts before we roll out of here for today?
Good show today. A lot of laughs. Had a good time. I'm glad SCT's in here. Funny stuff. And no, that's all I got. Oh, be on the lookout for an Inside Arkansas football show getting dropped here in a little while that Andrew and I recorded earlier today.
Yeah, if you're like, man, I just wish I could hang out with Curtis and Andrew for like an hour and a half more. And it is a legit hour and a half that we did.
Nice.
3 o'clock. Let's go with 3 o'clock. Sound good? Everybody be there. Meet back here at 3 o'clock.
All right. Perfect. Is that your final thoughts too, Andrew?
That's my final thought, is to keep consuming our content.
Yeah, that is a great final thought. Keep consuming the content, folks. And again, be on the lookout also tomorrow for a big announcement that we have here at Inside Arkansas that we're really excited about. And something that's going to be, again, I won't tease too much, but just be on the lookout. It's going to be awesome. And we'll do it during Inside Arkansas Live tomorrow. So be sure to subscribe to us here at Inside Arkansas on our YouTube page, and also check us out on our social media at Inside Arkansas. You can also download all of our audio podcasts wherever podcasts are found, whether it's Inside Arkansas Live, Pod at the Palace, the Bombastic Podcast, or Inside Arkansas Football Podcast. No matter what it is, you can check it out from there. And that'll do it for us. For Andrew Ellis, as well as Curtis Wilkerson, as well as producer Cameron, I'm John Neighbors. Same sports show, same sports channel, tomorrow at noon. Have a great rest of your day, everybody.